All right, breaking into the Falcons defense, taking a look at Zach Harrison, what he did to help us beat the Bucs. Limited snaps, only 14 snaps. I think you saw him, Ruke, and Taquan Graham have some pretty good games, along with Eddie Goldman. I think they've been kind of the standouts on the interior. All due respect to Onyemata and Grady, I think they've not been as great as we're used to. But right here, there's nothing too crazy here. What you're going to see is Zach Harrison here just win his one-on-one, able to get penetration into the backfield, which forces this running back who wants to get outside, because that's where they have their lead blocker going. They're doing outside zone, so all their players are coming across. They're trying to get outside. That's where they have their lead blocker. But when we get penetration like Zach Harrison does, it allows our backside pursuit players to make plays. Now, don't get it too twisted. This is terrible from the guard, I think. I don't know if he's trying to get a little initial block and then work up to the linebacker. Whatever he's doing, it doesn't work out. And we see Ruke able, with his youth, young guy, energetic, able to make a play in backside pursuit. And you also see Jesse coming down here, beating this wide receiver to the spot and coming down to fill. So even if Ruke doesn't make this play, Jesse's there to do it. So watch it right here. So you see Harrison getting the penetration. You get Ruke, whatever this technique this guard is doing, it's not good. So you got Ruke in backside pursuit. You have Jesse Bates beating his block. But again, it's all predicated on Zach Harrison forcing this cutback. So, first snap of the game for him on defense. Did a good job there. All right, this one, another snap. Zach Harrison's on the field. Ruke makes the play, though. So the rookie makes the play, able to get penetration on the reach block attempt by the guard. Not quick enough, and we're able to get into the backfield to make a really big tackle for a loss. I think it was a great play by him. I think, he had a handful of great plays. Didn't get a ton of snaps, but I think Ruke played pretty well considering this was his first NFL snaps. So what they're trying to do here is they're trying to pull their center, kind of as this lead, who's going to bang block Harrison here along with this player and force him out of the gap, and then the center's going to go up to the next level and kind of block. And they're also going to be pulling their guard to be responsible for James Smith here. And, I think James Smith does a pretty good job. He doesn't blow up the play, but he's able to kind of make this tougher on the guard than it was designed to be. But really the person who makes the play is Ruke, where they're asking this guard to reach block him. And when they're asking you to reach block, it's up to this player to win. Because reach blocks favor the defensive player, because it's hard for guards and centers to do this against good, quick defensive tackles. They just don't have the natural leverage. So off the snap, right here, Ruke's able to get across his face, get penetration, and at this point, the play's dead. There's nothing this running back can do to make a play. So it's a great job from Ruke. Zach Harrison, he's on the field, sharing the field with Ruke. He doesn't really make this play, but I wanted to highlight, I think Ruke did a really good job. All right, we're going to see some split flow, kind of G lead action from the Bucs. I don't think we do a great job kind of holding up at edge, and they're able to make a good play happen. Bit unfortunate because I think Taquan Graham does a good job disrupting this, getting inside, kind of filling that hole late. He's also forcing the guard to kind of hit him here, so it's not as smooth of a play as the Bucs would like. We just don't do a good job holding up at edge. I think Caden Ellis does a good job getting downhill. So right here, you're going to see them pulling this sniffer type, and his responsibility essentially is to come in here and win on Lorenzo Carter. Now they're also going to be pulling their guard, and their guard's coming over. Same thing, you're going to see Taquan Graham does a good job kind of getting this initial penetration, and it forces this guard to kind of stop for a second, but where he's able to kind of bang out on Lorenzo and help out here. But what you'd really like to see is Lorenzo get a little bit more upfield, hold it here, because Caden Ellis comes down, kind of holds this inside position, and if you're able to not give up the edge, he's going to be able to get into this hole here and fill it. But we don't hold up the way we need to at edge, so again, right here, Taquan Graham doing a good job, eating the double team. Again, this is where it goes, hey, if they're trying to come up this interior gap, I see what Caden Ellis sees. That said, Taquan Graham also kind of wins late here, gets inside. Lorenzo just has to set a better edge, because what you really want to happen here is this tight end meets Lorenzo right here. Lorenzo's holding the edge, so the running back's going to see this, and he's going to kind of fill this lane, because essentially you'd have a lane here like this. And what does that do? That's let Caden Ellis fill it and meet the running back in the hole. But since we don't block this up the way we need to, we're not able to make the play. So, not ideal, not necessarily what you want to see, but it is what it is. They make a good play out of it. Credit to them for winning. I think we just do a little bit better at edge. All right, right here we're going to see the Bucks running a bit of a toss play with the fullback leading. We're able to do a really good job winning our one-on-one block. Zach Harrison here, and also I want to highlight Hamilton Sr. does a really good job being aggressive with meeting the fullback type. Just forcing the cutback, and it goes right to Zach Harrison. It goes right to Caden Ellis. So great job there. But, again, this focus on this video is Zach Harrison. We're going to touch on everybody else. But Zach Harrison, one-on-one here, just totally wins. Really good job using his length, using his strength to kind of get this penetration and then start working towards the sideline. And then Hamilton Sr. here also does a really good job getting upfield and meeting this fullback and kind of forcing the cutback from the running back. And that allows, Ellis as well, kind of end the pursuit play to catch him. But really, I think regardless, Harrison's making this play because, again, he gets his hands on him first, pushes him back, nothing he can do here. We're in pursuit. We have the leverage we want. Again, Hamilton Sr. forcing the cutback lane. Harrison's here to meet him. He's in line with Ellis, so he's actually the one who makes the first contact. And it's a great play from Harrison. I think him, Ruke, Grady as well, they're all pretty good kind of with some of these outside runs, able to kind of sometimes slip underneath, get penetration. I'm not going to pretend it's happened all the time. Y'all are watching the same defense as I have, where we don't always get the penetration we need to get to have these tackles for a loss and these good plays. But right here, limited snaps for Zach Harrison. He's able to get it done on this one. One of the few limited pass reps we saw from Zach Harrison here. I think he does a really good job kind of winning late into this one with using his length again, working across the face of the guard. Unfortunately, we have a massive coverage bust. And it doesn't matter, but I think Harrison here does a really good job winning his one-on-one, getting that push back. We just can't have it this wide open, man. It's going to be tough. So again, we'll highlight him. Y'all can just kind of watch him work, able to kind of use his length to get a hand onto the guard, kind of one push him back. So right here, again, he has the leverage he wants. Nothing the guard can do here. Harrison's winning. If we have better coverage, potentially this is a sack. At the very least, it's a pressure. But we don't hold up the way we need to downfield, so they're able to get a nice pass rep out of it. But a good example is Zach Harrison using his length and power. That's one of the ways to win as a pass rusher, kind of get your hands into their chest. If you have longer arms than them and you kind of hit them first, you're able to kind of keep them away from you and kind of win rushes in that way. So good rep from him, just unfortunately didn't matter. All right, we got another one in here, not really the focus on Harrison for this one. He doesn't really make the play. Instead, we're going to focus on what Taquan Graham and they do with Hamilton Sr. here, where they're essentially doing a run blitz, sending their corner screaming downhill against the run, kind of shoot this gap. And, how can we tell that that's what they're trying to do? So the easiest way to do it is you look at all the defensive linemen. You're going to see them all come down really hard. And you have, your edges are still playing their edge. But it's basically going to leave this big vacated zone right here, and that's the gap they're using Hamilton Sr. to count for. So, he does a good job on this run blitz, kind of getting downfield quickly, making the tackle. I think it's fun. It's just fun to use these run blitzes sometimes. They're not always going to work, but, included it on here. All right, we're looking at another snap for Zach Harrison. He's able to occupy the center here, give Taquan Graham room to win with a nice swim move. Unfortunately, we don't get the sack on Baker. He's able to get upfield, get a big gain. Kind of a bummer because I think, design-wise, I think the plan is here for Harrison to kind of occupy the center, give Taquan Graham the one-on-one. He's had some nice pass rushing reps one-on-one. I'm not going to pretend he's been great, but he has had some nice ones in recent weeks. And right here, we just don't make the sack. But, Harrison initially is going to come up kind of one-on-one, and then he's going to kind of bang inside, which is going to occupy the center. And that gives Taquan Graham here room on the one-on-one, hit the swim move, get inside. Baker just does a good job avoiding the sack. Right here, get outside. Right here, we're driving down on the flat route. He sees the vacated zone. He's able to get upfield. Unfortunate rep. I think overall it's nice from Taquan Graham. I think Zach Harrison doesn't do anything particularly special, but I thought it was notable. We didn't have a whole lot of pass rush wins, but one of the ones we did have came with the deal of Taquan Graham and Zach Harrison kind of working off each other. All right, we're not going to see Harrison on the field for this one, but I thought it was just a really nice rep from Ruke, so I felt like including it here at the end of the video. Obviously it's kind of a short video, just not a whole lot of reps from any of these guys, but Ruke here, number 98, next to Grady, does a great job just kind of working through it, holding up at the point of attack, making a good play, preventing a touchdown. It's really good. I like how he's able to kind of rip through the guard who's trying to, stack him up a little bit. So let's go and just take a look at it real fast. So again, Ruke right here, you're going to see him engage with the guard, hold up, and then he's able to rip him aside and come through that interior gap and kind of make the play. So you also see Grady kind of holding up one-on-one at the center as well. So, credit to Grady. But I really think Ruke, they both kind of do the same motion here is what makes it fun, because Grady does it, and you see Ruke here do it, make the tackle, prevent him from getting an easy touchdown. So, just showing that one for fun. It's not Zach Harrison, but I thought it was a fun rep. So I think overall going forward, something that I would like to see is a little bit more reps from Zach Harrison and Ruke. Obviously, Contavious Street was having some struggles earlier in the season, but I think going forward, I'd like to see a little bit more Ruke, a little bit more Zach Harrison. I particularly like Zach Harrison kind of on the interior. I'm not as big at him as at edge, but that's just me. But overall, thought it was a rough game from the defense, in terms of rushing the passer, in terms of stopping the run. But some of these players, they got a very low amount of reps. Zach Harrison had 14, defensive snaps, and I would say only half of them, I didn't include every single one because some of them just weren't relevant. I'd say about half of them were opportunities for him to make an impact. And on the ones he had an opportunity to make an impact, I thought he did, fairly well. A pretty solid play. And then same thing for Ruke. I think some of the plays Ruke, wasn't really in a position to make a play. And that's how it is sometimes. But I think when he was in position to make a play, he played pretty solid. So going forward, I'd look to see those two get a little bit more snaps.